So good. Dreamers from the new EP, Crush Me, which is out now.
Yeah.
Which, interesting, because you've been through the major label thing before.
I have, yes.
And then it didn't go so well, so then you got off. You did your last album as an indie, and now you're back
up in this. Yeah.
What changed?
No, it's interesting. I mean, I think so. Yeah, right. Kind of when I started making music, I got signed to RCA, and I was so green in so many ways. I think, obviously there's many facets to the music business. And yeah, I was just kind of discovering them as I went along. And so I left, put out a record independently, which was a really tremendous experience, like such a labor of love. I mean, we put a lot of hours into that, but having like the autonomy and freedom of an independent artist is pretty, it's
awesome.
It's a really nice thing. So that was kind of my headspace coming into all this new music that I was working on. And this song and the others that are on the EP and the ones that'll be on the upcoming record, I was working on. And Dan Reynolds, who's the singer of Imagine Dragons,
right,
heard them and basically kind of set up this really great situation for me over at Interscope, where I kind of have a lot of autonomy. I mean, we just sort of do what we do, and Dan's been such an advocate. So
which is awesome, because I mean, honestly, that's what you want. You want to be able to do your art, the music, the way you want to. But there's benefits to having a big machine behind you.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think for me, like my prerogative always is to try to be, more than anything, is just to be honest with what I'm writing, because if there's 2 people in the crowd or 2,000, it still feels good to do. I think that's the thing, is like when you're not honest with yourself about what you want to make and how you want to express yourself, it can feel very like hollow and really bad if you're up there, especially when no one cares. That's kind of super depressing. So yeah, I kind of told Dan, I was like, as long as we can do our thing, and he's been great. The label's been great, so we'll see.
So what comes first when you write a track? Is it the lyrics, or is it a melody, the beat?
It's usually they kind of co-evolve. We usually start out with a little bit of a riff or a chord progression, and then write. I'll be feeling something and like kind of come up with the concept and start writing, and then really like flesh out the production. But actually, Dreamers, that song I just played, is a good example of a song that kind of had its original form, and then I went back and actually revised some of the lyrics just to try to push myself a little bit, not be too complacent. So that's a song that had a couple different versions, but always a similar vibe.
When you say revise, you mean like in content, lyrical content, or in the rhythm, the structure?
Well, both.
Okay.
But kind of the rhythm, like the second verse on that song sort of has a bit of a change, and the bridge as well. So those were all kind of evolutionary steps along the way.
I'm always so impressed with how you can remember all the lyrics to these songs, because I could never do that. It's so incredible. Last year you did a collaboration with Louis the Child.
Yeah.
How did that, from right here in Chicago?
I know.
How did that come about?
That came about through Twitter, which I have to say, Twitter is like a pretty cool tool for artists, and I feel like any like creative collaborators in general, like it's just such a good way to connect. And I was playing House of Blues, the show that you guys
Queued Up Artist Showcase. Yeah.
And they just wrote me, and they were like, hey, we're fans or something. And I was like, yeah, send me. I listened to their stuff. I thought it was really cool. They didn't have too much out then.
Right.
And they sent me sort of the very if you happen to know that song, it sort of has this like little intro thing. And they sent me kind of a loop of that and a couple other things. And I was in LA, and I had an idea immediately, and I wrote it and sent it. And then that ended up, those vocals I recorded in my kitchen ended up being on the song.
Isn't it weird that you could do that?
It's awesome. I think it's like the best development for
as opposed to going
musical.
to a sterile studio, and everything has to be set up just right. You can capture a moment now.
Totally. And I feel like the capturing of the moment is better than like crystal sonic precision.
Absolutely. I always would say that in my band, we used to auto-tune the singer, and we'd have to do it old school, note by note. And I'm like, you're really taking out the life of this performance. You really are.
Totally.
Yeah. Any more collaborations in the works? Do you like collaborating?
I love collaborating. You know, every collaboration I've done has really just been an organic thing that kind of popped out of nowhere. So nothing in the works at the moment, but that could change tomorrow.